So you understand trail braking and you're trying to use it more in your riding, but you're having this one really frustrating problem. You find yourself riding into a corner, going to the brakes when you're nervous, but suddenly you find yourself going so slow that you have to go back to the gas just to get into the bend. It's killing your flow. Don't worry, you're not alone. And there's a fix for this. Let's break it down and get you riding smoother through every bend and help you achieve your riding goals. Hi, my name is Dave and I've been a professional motorcycle coach for about 25 years. I've taught state basic rider courses for well over a decade, and I'm currently certified through the USMCA, and I'm a certified champions coach with Champ School, among other things. I've helped literally tens of thousands of riders over the years. So here we go. How do we solve this? Well, first, entering a corner too slow isn't really a bad thing, right? I mean, I'd rather enter a corner too slow than too fast, but we're struggling to find the right balance. Now, there are three things and possibly a combination of these three things that could help you out. So let's go for a ride. It feels like a lazy answer, but in most cases, overslowing isn't a brakes problem, it's an eyes problem. All the time we hear, look up, but that's not enough. We need to have fast eyes. What does that mean? Hold out your thumb and focus in the distance. Now focus on your thumb. Now focus in the distance and now your thumb. Now faster, even faster. Fast eyes means we look up as far as we can see and then scan back to the road surface in front of us, then get our eyes back up again as quickly as we can. Overslowing is often we've been looking out. We scan back to check out the road surface or our apex, but then neglect to get our eyes back up again. We want to be looking for our exit as soon as possible. And this is probably the thing I say to myself inside my helmet more than anything else, fast eyes. It's this reminder to get my eyes back up and looking for my exit as soon as I can. You know, it's absolutely amazing how useful these new 360 cameras are. This has become my go-to camera because of how flexible it is. From one camera location, I can get several different shots, which just helps make editing these videos together that much easier. And what's super cool about our new partnership with Insta360 is they've given you a coupon code should you want one of your own. And I really have to say, if you're looking for your first or even a new action camera to document your epic motorcycle adventures, I'd encourage you to really look at these 360 cameras. All right, back to the ride. Sometimes overslowing can be attributed to how we're applying our brakes. So the rule is we go to the brakes when we're nervous and we slow until we're happy with our speed and direction, right? Let's go back to our eyes. If we're looking down too much, our sense of speed is higher, so we get nervous sooner and we apply the brakes with more initial pressure than we may need to. So try this. Find yourself in a familiar corner, keep those eyes up, and go to the brakes where you normally do, only with less brake pressure than you normally would, and see how that works out. We go to the brakes earlier, lighter, with less brake pressure, but carry the brakes for longer. Opponents may call this comfort braking, and yeah, you bet it is. And what's wrong with that? My brake lever is like my whoopee. It makes me feel safe and in control. But don't forget that we can add and subtract small amounts of brake pressure based on what we need the bike to do, using less pressure than you normally would into your local bend. If you get nervous, just add a few points of pressure. If you feel good about your speed, you can give back a few points of pressure. This one is probably the second biggest cause of overslowing after having slow eyes. What happens is, as riders progress in their skill and comfort, they continue to downshift into corners like they did as a new rider. Our priority is corner exit, right? Nothing else matters more than getting our bike pointed out of the corner. When it comes to which gear to be in, we want to be in the correct gear for corner exit. So let's go back to our familiar corner. Enter it like you normally would, but try riding it in a gear or maybe 2 gears higher than you normally would and just see how that feels. Especially as you're trying to work through this, save your downshift for corner exit. You know, when you're pointed out of the corner and you have all that visual information and you have a straightaway. Then you can downshift if you need to. What most riders discover is that by riding that corner in a gear or two higher, the corner will become smoother. It forces us to rely on that front brake a little bit more, so we feel more in control. We can be much more precise with where the bike is in our lane, and we'll discover that we have plenty of power to accelerate out of the corner. If you find yourself going into a corner slower than you want it to go, whatever. Doesn't really matter. The entrance of the corner isn't the important part. The measure of a good corner is actually that we stay in our lane and get the bike pointed towards the exit, no matter what. There's nobody looking over your shoulder judging you except for you. The key is to be adaptable, adjusting our techniques to the situation, as well as the feedback we're receiving from the bike. In the world of motorcycles, the correct answer to almost every motorcycle question begins with, it depends. Why are you overslowing? It depends. Maybe you aren't looking out far enough. Maybe you're downshifting into too low of a gear. Becoming the best rider you can be requires that we are adaptable and adjustable riders, employing different techniques for different situations. Thank you to Insta360 for the channel sponsorship. We really appreciate all the help. We are also sponsored by Cardo and Motul Oils. Again, we couldn't do it without them and without the help of you guys. Please consider becoming a channel member. I'm trying to do even more exclusive content down there. We also have a free Discord server for anybody. We're trying to get our Reddit space up and running again. There's lots of ways to reach out, ask questions, and get the help you need. Thank you so much for watching. Ride on and ride well.